This is a rewrite of the dialogue that takes place between Edelgard and Dimitri towards the end of the Blue Lion's route in Fire Emblem Three Houses. This dialogue is a clash between Edelgard and Dimitri's beliefs, or at least that's what it should have been. I found the dialogue to be a weird mumbo-jumbo that didn't really make much sense, and since the Blue Lions was my first playthrough, I was really looking forward to understanding Edelgard's reasoning for her war, and yet became none the wiser. After playing Black Eagles next, I became really frustrated with how vague she is in her discussion with Dimitri. Like, couldn't she be a little bit more clear, trying to make him understand? Therefore, this is a rewrite of their dialogue. I decided to voice act it because I figured it would work better with the YouTube medium, but I've never done much voice acting before, so please bear with me. Without further ado, please enjoy. Edelgard. I did not think you would actually accept my request. Call it a win. Well then, what did you want to talk about? I will get straight to the point. Why did you start this war? I have to believe the girl I knew at the academy would have a reason to do this. The academy? Yes, that's a good place to start. Think of all the things that happened there, the people who suffered due to the crest system. The girl you knew back then was just one among many who had suffered at the hands of that system for her entire life. Due to crests and the importance they're given, many suffer. Wasn't it a boy from your class whose older brother was disinherited because he didn't have a crest? I cannot disagree with the fact that the existence of crests creates unfairness. However, it has also helped the world many times. How so? Crests are used again and again to trample on the weak, to hold the masses down, and as motivation to gain noble blood. This power-mongering has created so much suffering, as well as a wrong sense of what a human life is worth. In this world, people without crests are viewed as almost worthless compared to those with one. That is why I am leading this war, to destroy that system, to create a world based on merits, in which even the lowborn can fight their way to the top on the basis of their own strengths and hard work. I see. However, crests are a factor of life. I agree that the nobility places a far too high value on them, but there are many factors in life that are unfair. Riches, skills, differences in the conditions you're born into, and differences of disposition. You cannot make the world one big grey mass. Instead, people should acknowledge each other's strengths and weaknesses and work together. There had to be a way to change things in your territory without waging war on the rest of Fodlan or getting rid of the nobility in such a violent manner. It may be hard to believe, but this is the way that leads to the fewest casualties in the end. Don't you see? How could I? Countless people have already lost their lives in this conflict. The longer we took to revolt, the more victims this crooked world would have claimed. And if we had tried to make a peaceful change from within, the nobles would have undermined it due to the very strength that the crests bestow them with. And what about yourself, Edelgard? You wield a crest. Why do you rule instead of someone else if you believe a crest to be so unfair? That is true. Yet I am the only one who has shown true resolve and understanding of the situation. I am using my life and my crest for the good of the people. Exactly! Crests are only as good or bad as their carriers. I have wielded my lance through many battles, some as a mere beast, slaying every face before me, others in the name of a just cause and to the cheer of the innocents I have freed. My lance is not to blame for the lives it takes, only I. The crests are weapons, able to be used for either good or bad. Maybe so, but in the world we live in now, crests are not used for good. They're used by power-mongering nobles to gain more power. It's a never-ending circle, one that can't be reshaped, but must be destroyed and then rebuilt. I weighed the victims of war against the victims of the world as it is now, and I chose the former. I believe that I have chosen the best path, the only path. Even after seeing the faces of those who have suffered the ravages of war, you would still force them to throw their lives away for the future. Surely the destruction of war is nothing compared to the individual pain due to having or not having a crest. You are obsessively devoted to this war and deaf to the screams of its victims. You cannot change the cycle of the strong dominating the weak with a method like that. You're wrong. That very cycle is exactly what I have devoted my life and my power to destroying. If after all of this you believe the weak will still be weak, that is only because they are used to relying on others instead of on themselves. The religion of Ceres has taught them to believe in a deity, which makes them powerless because they will not act on their own, and instead they pray to a goddess that will never answer. Yes, perhaps someone as strong as you are can claim something like that. But you cannot force that belief onto others. People aren't as strong as you think they are. They are those who cannot live without their faith, and those who cannot go on once they have lost their reason for living. Your path will not be able to save them. It is the path of the strong, and so it could only benefit the strong. So you consider me strong, do you? Even if one clings to their faith, the goddess will never answer them. Countless souls will be lost that way, living without purpose. And I can be counted among those who have died that way as well. But that's why I must change this world, on behalf of the silent and weak. And do you intend to become a goddess yourself? Will you steal the power to take action from the broken-hearted masses you claim to defend? The ones who can truly change the way of the world are not the rulers, but the people. Pushing your own sense of justice and your own ideals onto even one other person is no more than self-righteousness. Maybe it is self-righteousness, but it doesn't matter. Someone has to take action and put a stop to this world's endless, blood-stained misery. Do you not believe in the power of people to join together and rise up? Humans are weak creatures, but they are also creatures who help each other, support each other, and together find the right path. I have learned that humans are capable of all that from the professor, and from everyone in my life. Someone who was fortunate enough like you to have those things will never understand those of us who don't have those things. Then perhaps you should trust us. If we work together, you and I, we could create a new, much freer and more fair Fodlan. And you? Are you prepared to demolish the feudal system? To undo the honors of nobles and step down from your place as king to let the people rule? One day perhaps such a world could be, but not yet. Throwing the reins to someone who have never learned to use them would be tantamount to catastrophe. But perhaps, gradually, we could build that world. Then you agree with me that the people, as they are right now, are not able to make the decisions necessary. That we must cut a path for them. That is the job of nobles, the duty of those who bear crests. But that duty involves listening to the screams and pleas of the commoners as well. Then you and yours have done a poor job, since you have not heard their pleas. But I have. This is nonsense. Though I'm finally starting to understand how you feel. But that makes it even clearer to me that we can never fully understand each other. I feel the same. I finally understand. But you're right. We cannot agree. Goodbye, Dimitri. Wait, Edelgard. There is something I must give you. I hope you enjoyed this rewrite. Please leave a comment on your thoughts on my changes and like and subscribe for more content on rewrites and story discussions. Have a nice day.